waiting for word on whether its COVID-19 vaccine will continue to be used in the United States or really anywhere. Here with more on navigating the fallout of crises like these is Jeffrey Sonnenfeld, a professor at the Yale School of Management and a CNBC contributor. Jeff, it's always great to see you. Tesla has been very quiet today. I don't know that they've said anything. Peloton, with respect to their treadmill, has basically said we want to cooperate with the Consumer Product Safety Commission, but when used according to instructions, when used in a safe way, the product is safe. Let's set aside J&J for a separate conversation. What should the executives of those two companies, Tesla and Peloton, be saying now?
Thanks for the invitation. I say no to you on these invitations, of course, but of course, to join the chorus, welcoming Kelly back, I wouldn't miss that opportunity. So welcome back. Tomorrow, when you're all in studio, you should play the great theme from Annie about Together at Last, I guess. But I really do want to emphasize that there are great historic lessons here that you can think of when, of course, Tylenol in the early 80s Johnson & Johnson handled the Tylenol situation so well. Mary Barra, more recently, she took charge at General Motors. There are things to do to not attack the critics, not to be standoffish. We see Peloton as a little bit defensive. Tesla goes silent. But we've seen those kind of things happen before with Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook and others too. The mishandling of the Equifax data breach. Things they have to do is they have to embrace the critics, get the board engaged, make sure they know what's going on, speak with a single voice, don't vilify the critics, and try to come up with constructive solutions. You could imagine there'd be weight sensors that could keep animals, pets, and young children off of these dangerous treadmills. There are things they could come up with, just like ways of punching in that you continually perhaps default to shut the system down. But you think that engineers could come up with solutions.
Yeah, they have apparently a key that has to be inserted into the device to be able to turn it on, and they say you hide that key in a place where children can't get to it. But people will forget to take the key out, and maybe they leave the thing on.
Exactly, they answer the door and a child climbs on. That's why a weight sensor would help, and that's also why continually punching in on a default might be a little bit annoying, but that would be a good solution. They could also embrace some of their competitors that have similar situations with treadmills. So forging alliances that way, I think, would be a smart thing to do to help them.
My sense is that behind what you're saying, Jeff, is a feeling that there is more to be gained by coming out and getting in front of these kinds of stories, even though the general counsels are going to say, don't you dare go on CNBC, don't you dare make a press statement to anybody, but that there is more to be gained from coming out and speaking shoulder to shoulder with the consumer than from not.
That's exactly right, Tyler. But you can't go too far. People learned from Jim Burke embracing the critics with a very successful recovery at Johnson & Johnson's Tylenol. And look at Bob Eckert at Mattel, where they had a lead paint problem with the toys in China. But when people went too far, Warren Anderson, you'll remember, of the late great Union Carbide, he went over to India after this horrible gas breach in Bhopal, India, with 500,000 people exposed and thousands killed. He went over and said, I'm the one responsible for this. I'm the CEO. So they put him in prison. And eventually he came back to the United States, but he was a fugitive from justice the rest of his life. They were forever trying to extradite him back to India.
Yeah.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.